What is up, everybody? It is Alex from Heavy New York, calling from the quarantine zone again, and this time we got Farida of Molassess. Thank you for your time today. I appreciate it. So the first thing is always first is your newest album, Through the Hollow, which is scheduled to come out in October of this year. I really want to know what the thought process was going into the making of this album. Was there kind of like a preconceived idea? Was there a goal that you were trying to achieve? How did Through the Hollow really come to be?
Well, at first we were asked to do a commissioned piece for Roadburn. Walter Roadburn handpicked a few people, which was us, and asked us if we were willing to make 70 minutes of music, I guess. Yeah, 70, especially for that occasion. And so we were very thrilled and honored. He asked us and we said yes. So we went along and started writing. And in the process, we found out that this was something more than only just one performance. So it was after a while very clear that we needed to move on and make more, and that's about how it happened.
Mm-hmm. Could the singles that you released, Death Is and Through the Hollow, almost serve as like a clear representation of what this whole album will sound like, or is this just the beginning?
Well, I think there's another single yet to come. I think we picked three very different songs, which are probably very representative. This English for the overall feel of the album. Is that an answer to your question?
Definitely. Yeah, because I've noticed that, like, from listening to the album, like, I feel like every song really played by its own rules and really, like, had its own experimental qualities about it. So, like, you guys just, like, kind of, like, went into the making of this album with a completely open mind, right? You weren't afraid to try anything new?
Yeah, we were very free. And tried to be very free, without restrictions and without any thoughts of, can it sound like this, or maybe we should not do this because it sounds too much like blah blah. We tried to let it all go. That's also the theme. Let go. And I think it worked pretty well. Yeah.
Did you think of this sort of theme before the making of this album, and that maybe helped influence the music in a way?
Well, the theme was there. Everyone was in this process of letting go in his or her and mine way. I mean, we all had to deal with losses. We all had to deal with new beginnings. So it was very obvious. We didn't even have to say it out loud. That was the theme, which
Mm-hmm.
Would be the theme of the album, Yeah.
Do you kind of want the album to be open to interpretation, or do you try to maybe engage the listener into what the theme of this album could be about?
No, I really love to leave everything open to interpretation. I mean, that is so personal for every individual. I could never say you have to look at it like this or you have to look at it like that. I think that is the beauty of art. I make something, we create something, and then you have to let it go, and then it's up to the viewer or the listener or the experiencer to do with it whatever they want, of course.
So can a listener approach this album from any angle they wish, or do you, in order for maybe a listener to really experience this album, they should start off with Through the Hollow and end with The Devil's Lies, or The Devil Lives? Devil Lives, sorry.
Yeah, well, we, of course, for me, I look at it as sort of a book, and you don't start at the back. But again, if that's the way you want to do stuff, you really should. But I think we didn't put it. We put it in this order for a reason, of course. Yeah, yeah.
With all the experimental elements that you have in your music and having so many different sounds and different emotions, is it like a preconceived idea? Do you think of how you want a song to sound before you start writing, or do these songs kind of like shape themselves in a way?
Yeah, they shape themselves along the way. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you have a basics or a riff or a song or a vocal line or whatever, and then um, everything comes together and it starts to evolve and grow and change also during the process. So it is never really it's never finished beforehand. It comes in time and in yeah.
It seems like art is life in itself and how it grows and
Yes.
develops. And it almost seems like that, even though you are the creator and you are the artist of the music, it seems like an artist is more of like the art's humble guide in a way.
I think so. It's lots of stuff just happens, when you're working on something, and then it grows, and then but the next time or the next day or whatever, when you listen to it again or you start singing it again or playing it again, it's already different because you're different, because everything is different. Everything changes the whole time.
Yeah, it almost seems like, because I feel like despite a lot of these songs being very long, it almost seems like they really do capture a moment in a way. Is it fair to say that when you listen to, Formless Hands or, I Am No Longer or Death Is, like, is it almost representative of an emotion that you were partially feeling at a particular time?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Hmm. Do you find it maybe like the longer you're working on something, the harder it is to kind of maintain that emotion?
uh, no, no, because the emotion is so pure and true. um, it goes beyond thinking about it. You know what I mean? I mean, it's so almost in a spiritual way. Uh, I don't know exactly how I should put it, but you're asking me if it's hard to keep the emotion that you're feeling at the beginning,
Yeah,
or
like do you try to feel the same way when you finish a song as you do when you start it?
oh, okay, that depends on the song very much. But I think it. I mean, it's not just one emotion. So it's a mixture of lots of feelings and stuff, and it's all there. So yeah, also that evolves, of course, in during a song or something. But yeah,
In order to get like inspired to write, do you need to like be in a certain place at a certain moment? Like do you have like a special place you like to go to for inspiration to come, or does inspiration for art just come out of nowhere sometimes?
I find that inspiration comes at times that you least expect it. When you go searching, it's more difficult for me, at least. I don't know. I am speaking for myself now. Um, I can have the trouble that I think, that I think, okay, today I'm going to do stuff and I need inspiration, and then I'm trying to find it, but I can't find it. And then when I let go of that thought and start doing something else, I don't know, cleaning, for instance, or working or whatever, or just a walk in the forest. It can happen at all places at all times, but most of the times it happens when I'm not looking for it.
Yeah, I'd imagine inspiration sometimes comes at a very inconvenient time as well.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you don't have anything to write it down with either, so like you almost want to rush back to like your recording studio or something just to make sure that you keep that idea.
Yeah. That's sometimes very troubling, but it happens. But yeah, again, if you, and I think it works with like that in with lots of stuff you do or think or need to do or whatever. When it becomes an obstacle, because you're thinking of it so much that you need to have or need to do something, then it won't work. For me, it doesn't. I need to be free in my mind and not, and then stuff comes, and then you'll always find a way to to do something with it.
Yeah. And like if you overthink something, it's only going to lead to bad things. Overthinking something never really helps the art in a way,
No,
right?
it kills. It's bad most of the times. Yeah.
It's funny because I've talked to a couple of artists who like say that sometimes that pressure and that anxiety and that frustration sometimes helps better the art, but that's got to be so deteriorating.
Yeah, it is painful because then I mean I have when that happens I always have these thoughts of what the fuck am I doing? I should quit. This is not. I don't feel well. It hurts and all this kind of stuff. But then when you come out of that and you realize you have all this beautiful pieces of music and lyrics and everything, then you realize, well, you need that hurt and you need that troubling moments to get there. It's inevitable.
Yeah. Were you going into Molasses with maybe a different mind frame than what we have heard on The Devil's Blood, or do you think that, or is there maybe like a usual method behind creativity that applies to everything you work on?
It's totally different from what I've ever experienced. Actually, how we work now and how I work now and how we do this now. Because with The Devil's Blood, of course, it was always my brother who was the guy who made everything. He made the music, he made the lyrics, he thought of everything. So of course, I needed also inspiration, but on a very different level. So this was totally new for me, actually, to do it like this.
And I'd imagine that working with this project made you find, not just as an artist, but maybe like helped you find yourself in a profound way that you may have not have discovered otherwise, right?
Yes, very true. Very true. Yeah, I got to know myself again.
Yeah. I've talked to a couple of artists, and they say that whenever they create something new, whether it's a new album or even a new project, it is almost kind of like a rebirth in a way of who, not only of their project, but who they personally are.
Yeah, that is so true. There's nothing I can add. I mean, yeah. You have to you have to get no, I don't know, this is not good English, but sorry, I'm gonna say it anyway. You have to turn yourself inside and out again and again and again, and find yourself, and then you come out a different person, I guess.
Definitely. And like, because artists sometimes say that like they don't take inspiration from the world around them, that art is like an escape from the world, but really I think whether you realize it or not, the world and life is always going to influence you one way or another, right?
But of course I live in it, so it has to but I think for me more is that the music for me is an escape from this world, because I really do not like it very much. But and so if you can put it into art, music, paintings, whatever, that is the escape, I guess. But you're influenced by it, yes.
Does the world, I mean, has creating art maybe have helped you make peace with the world and maybe find a new look at it from a different perspective?
I don't know if I can make peace with the world, but I can make peace with me being in it.
That's a beautiful statement. I really love that.
Yeah, I think that's what it is for me. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, it's funny too, because kind of going back to the inspiration, like, you know, the world offers so many different, like, are you almost kind of like looking inward when you are creating, or do you maybe kind of look at the world around you and maybe use the disdain for the world as a source of inspiration as well?
I think it comes both ways, actually. Of course, I mean, it's all about what I do and what I represent is all about me. And but I'm here in this world. I'm a part of. I'm just a nobody in this whole big cosmos we're living in, and yeah, I think it comes both ways.
Yeah, definitely. And again,
Yeah.
life is going to influence you one way or another, whether
Of
you
course.
like it or not.
Yeah, life makes you what you are, I guess.
When you're performing this music, or even like when you're tracking it or creating it, do you almost feel like you are escaping like who you personally are as well? Like, do you almost feel like you, in a way, portray a character?
No, I'm definitely not escaping. I'm I'm showing. Uh, I'm no. I think it's the opposite.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not escaping myself. I'm very much showing myself.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. And I feel like people who would want to get to know who you personally are, like, just listen to the music, because I think that
Yes.
is expressing, that's everything that everything that everybody would want to know about you is said on the album.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Here comes the most difficult question of the interview. How do you know when a song is done?
Yeah, how do you know? How do you know when a song is finished? That's a good. I don't know if I can say that in words, because it's very much a feeling. You know, you're working on a song, and uh, yeah, and sometimes you feel that there needs to be something more or something less, or it's just not working, or and it's almost always a feeling. I cannot, you know, in your gut or in your heart or somewhere in your body, that, you know, I don't know. And then at one point it is. Then you're playing it all together, and everyone has the same energy, and then you're done, and you don't need to say it, but it's, yeah, this is it.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about how like art is life, so I guess the songs pretty much finish themselves in a way.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, it works like that. Yeah, it's very difficult to explain really how it happens, but it just does. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So before we go, I want to thank you so much for your time today. I really enjoyed this discussion. Just I just saw that you announced the Tribulation tour.
Yeah.
Can we be expecting Molasses to ever come to the States eventually? Is there anything you would like to promote after, this virus that I'm not naming goes away?
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about it, but yeah, well, hey, I hope we do. Of course, we're ready, so ready to go and play and make more stuff, and I hope the coming, I don't know how many years we can do that, and the States will be part of that. Of course, yes, I would love to go back there.
Awesome. We would love to have you
Yeah.
here. But
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much, Farida. Everybody, we are here with Farida of Molassess. Be sure to pick up Through the Hollow, coming out via Season of Mist, October 16th. This is Alex from Heavy New York, and we will see you next time.